have many strong responses after your opponent plays e4, mirroring your opponent's pawn and creating a balanced opening. A common second move that develops a piece and attacks your pawn. A sound, defensive move protecting your e-pawn and controlling the center. A classic opening that leads to positional or tactical ideas. I see what you're thinking, but this move is somewhat passive. Their knight comes into play, supporting the center. You are bringing your knight into play, eyeing the central squares. This move prepares for their bishop to join the action. You developed a piece and stopped your opponent from expanding in the center. They castled kingside, placing their king in a safer spot away from the center. This lets your bishop step into the game. Your opponent develops their queen off its starting square. Your pin restricts your opponent's knight. They offer a fair trade of pieces. That was a fair trade. Takes back. Castling on the same side of the board as your opponent is a solid choice. You get a chance to win a pawn through an eventual fork. You had an opportunity to win a pawn through an eventual fork. Their move is losing material. There was a moment to punish your opponent's error, but you let it pass. They played the strongest move available. Nice, definitely the right move. This is the only move that works. Nice choice. Your recapture also improves your queen's position. Your opponent attacks two pieces at once with this fork. That pawn was yours for the taking. They made one of the top moves in this position. You calmly step the rook out of trouble. Their best option was to move a knight to safety. This is a fine move. Recaptures. You had an opportunity to win a knight by trapping a piece. That queen is unprotected and can be captured right away. You captured a vulnerable queen. A straightforward recapture. This move gives you a passed pawn, free to advance up the board. That pawn was vulnerable and your opponent snags it from distance. With that move, you offer to trade pieces. That's playable. You recaptured. This seems like a mistake to me. You are threatening to force eventual checkmate. Their move stopped you from being able to force eventual checkmate. By adding an attacker, you make the threat on the pawn much stronger. A clear recapture. You won a pawn for free. Pushing their passed pawn. Your opponent has to watch that passed pawn. You are now able to win a knight through an eventual fork. You will win a knight with a fork. You get a chance to push a passed pawn. That knight was yours for the taking. You get a chance to force eventual checkmate. You have a clear path to a forced checkmate. Just find the right. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. That was the only move. You had an opportunity to checkmate the king. Their king steps away from the check by your pawn.